The general idea behind it is that the second you put yourself up against another person that has the exact same rules, data, all of that, if you win or if you lose, as long as there's not much RNG there, it's because of you. Yeah. Right. And as much as that can be confronting, I love that more than anything. And Kieran is actually very, very, very strong on that. I believe Grant too. We very much like to play against people rather than against the environment, because when you're up against people, there are unpredictable things that happen. People can come up with new strategies. So the general idea for survival mode would be to put two people against each other with the same deck, it would be a random deck, as in not based on the 1 day overflow that we've got, but literally just randomly generated every time you go in. And you and your opponent would have that same thing. You'd be up against the same waves. They would all be auto-generated for you. And then as you play, things that happen to you, your good play in beating waves quickly and beating them perfectly, stuff like that, would impact your opponents. But at the same time, there needs to be a little bit of context to what survival mode will eventually be, which is that there's mastery points at the moment, and you're trying to use them all of the time. That will change with the next update, because you'll get interest on your mastery points that are unspent. So the second that you do that, people start to think, well, okay, I want to use as few points as possible, but I still want to win the round quickly. I still don't want to get damaged, because the other thing is, at the moment, it's just binary. Either you survive the round or you don't. We're building in health so that if you lose a round, you'll get damaged by the enemies, but you'll continue on. Right. So you can actually sandbag a bit at the start and choose to play a bit of a weaker team and save up your mastery points so that later on you have more to spend. And it automatically allows there to be a lot more in-depth strategy. Again, this is not something that a new player should focus on to begin with, but it'll become abundantly clear for them after playing a few games. Okay, these first few rounds are a bit easy. I don't need to spend everything immediately. I don't need to put my Ramfire in there in round one. I can just play with a couple and get myself through it. But when you put another person in there, they're trying to climb up the waves. You're trying to climb up the waves. You impact them, they impact you. And all of a sudden it becomes incredibly stressful and it becomes incredibly tense. And I'm just waiting for some keyboards to be thrown across the room. That'll be when we know we've done a good job.